What's up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki, and we are doing our Church of MHA reread today. So, as most of y'all know, Horikoshi is on break. So, we're going to go ahead and just, read volume 2, following up on that previous reread stream. And of course, as I've already stated, we want Horikoshi to take those breaks. Mans needs his rest, needs to stop trying to please the overlords of Shonen Jump. He's already done a good job with this series. There's no reason for him to be overstressed and depressed, dealing with all these anxieties. And we just, in general, want to take care of him. Hell, Oda's taking a month off due to having astigmatism correction surgery. He had been going through a few months thinking that he was seeing a lot more twins lately. So generally, we want these mangaka to live better lives, healthier lives. And if that means we got to get a delay in some of these chapters, then hey, we got to get a delay in some of these chapters. Ain't that right, Gene Bean? So with the bean in the jacket and manga in my hand, we can actually begin this reread. And what I'm going to do is make sure that the bishops have the link from the beginning. That way, if they want to pop in at any moment, they'll be able to do so. Make sure you guys' weeks are going well. In addition to that, hey, what up, Cameron Bailey? The My Hero Academia manga next chapter is coming out on a Monday, which means if you get a stream, it'll be a late night stream because I work 9 to 5. So, might do volume 3 next Sunday and then follow that up with a quick or a short, maybe hour-long one Monday night. That way you guys get the live chapter still, and you get the reread streams both in the same week. So that could be fun. I'll see how people feel about possibly doing multiple in the same week, though. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. If you want the double whammy, or if you'd rather have just, that simple one or the other approach for the week. But with that said, gonna get underway since there's no new chapter today with the My Hero reread. And as always, we're gonna be reading from the volume directly. Less likely to have random, pages vanish if I'm holding an actual paper copy of the material. So let me see who's here in the chat already. All right, so we got MK the Baby, Cameron Bailey, just some of our usuals. So that's all right with me. So gonna dive right into the book, and I'll pop back in and see if there's anything to talk about with the chat while I'm reading. Hey, little baby. Horikoshi's opening note for this manga was, "I like drawn hands. I give them a lot of care because besides the face, I think the hands are the part of the body most capable of showing expression and character. On the flip side, drawing hands that aren't expressive is especially tough because there's nothing to go on. For that reason, there's one character in this volume who's especially difficult and who had me on the verge of tears every week. It makes me resent myself. It'll be plenty obvious to any reader which character I'm referring to. So go ahead and read on." All right. My Hero Academia, Volume 2, Rage, You Damned Nerd. All right, so chapter opens up with the uniform subsidy. Students submit work registry and bodily specification forms before starting school. Then a support company affiliated with the school prepares costumes for everyone. What an awesome system. Students attach request forms and their specifications are transformed into efficient cutting-edge costumes. I gotta go get a quirk registry form from City Hall, but I've already been registered as quirkless. What do I do? Quirk registry form? You can update that. For real, most kids are diagnosed and registered all at once during elementary school. But now and then, you might have someone who says, "I thought my quirk just shot water out of my body. But now I know it actually works off moisture from the surrounding air." So they allow for 1 or 2 updates. Major alterations aren't accepted, but you'll probably be okay since you started with nothing. So it's kind of worth noting here that what I think is kind of cool is that this early in the series, Horikoshi already had the idea in place. And we've talked about this multiple times when discussing Bakugo's quirk applications, with Toga's, with Chaco, with any potential power up in the series, that this right here, set in stone, that Raven's quirks aren't necessarily set in stone. Just because you see a utilization or application of a quirk doesn't mean that's the only application or utilization of a quirk. So just gonna keep reading out. I'm home. Did I say probably? I meant I hung up by accident. I'll have to apologize later. Welcome back. Hey, Izuku, congratulations on getting in. This may be too soon, but a jumpsuit? I realize it's not the coolest costume out there. One time when you fell asleep while studying, I noticed your open notebook. I said something awful to you. I've always regretted that. Back then, I just gave up on you. But you never quit, Izuku. You kept chasing your dreams. I'm sorry, Izuku. So now I'll be cheering you on with everything I've got. This symbolizes my mom's love. How could I possibly wear anything else? Even when people are in trouble, he saves them and smiles. Who cares if it's not efficient or cutting edge? A super cool hero like that, this is my costume. Which, how would you guys feel if this costume returned at the end of the series? Like if Deku just went from all these fancy costumes with the support bracers and all of those stuff to just his mom's fit. Imagine this dude pulling up in this fit, doing all the stuff Deku does currently. Wild. Shall we begin, my wards? It's time for battle training. Ah, Deku, cool costume, really practical looking. Uraraka, whoa, I wish I'd been more specific on my request form. This suit's so puffy and curvy, it's embarrassing. And then we get Mineta. Being in the hero course is the best. Huh? We're all here then, looking good. Hmm? And then, of course, the classic way to make it obvious scene. Sensei, this appears to be the same field used in the entrance exam. Will we once again be performing cityscape maneuvers? So that's Ida over there. That's so cool. Nope. You'll be moving on to step 2, indoor anti-personnel battle training. Villain battles are most commonly seen outdoors, but statistically the most heinous villains are more likely to appear indoors. Between confinement house arrest and black market deals in this hero-filled society of ours, the cleverest villains out there lurk indoors. You'll now be split into villain teams and hero teams and face off in 2-on-1, 2-on-2 battle, indoor battles. So no basic training. Practical experience teaches you the basics. The distinction here is that you won't be fighting disposable robots. So one of the things that I like about this is that this is kind of one of those, you don't know it at the time, but once we get introduced into Gran Torino and how Gran Torino trained All Might, you then understand why All Might was like, what's my curriculum gonna be? I guess I'll just have them beat the shit out of each other. Because that was what his training was like. No funny stuff, no go do some squats. The fact that abusive Inko is a popular trope despite the scene is mind-boggling. I think a lot of people just feel like Inko let him down. And in some ways we can agree that she did, but I just don't think that it's entirely fair. But calling him Inko abusive because she didn't support his is a little harsh. Is it necessarily the best parenting? Questionable. Is it on par with Mitsuki slapping Bakugo for no reason, calling him, blaming him for getting kidnapped by the League of Villains, or would Endeavor put Shoto through? No, not even close. Hell, his dad is arguably more abusive just because we've never seen the guy. Neglect is a form of abuse. All right, so Momo comes through. What determines victory? Can I just blast everyone away? Are you threatening to expel someone like Aizawa Sensei did? How do we proceed to divide ourselves into teams? How ridiculous, how fabulous is my cape? Which, once again, Aoyama got a lot of early random screen time. It's one of those things that I really like, is like how often Aoyama just happens to come in there. And it kind of all plays into how he's just constantly drawing attention to himself the entire story solely because it's almost like he wants to be caught. He wants to make it hard for him to be a spy because if people are always paying attention to him, it's almost impossible for him to sneak away. So it's kind of a cool detail. One at a time, my quirk isn't super hearing. Tell that to Betancourt. Listen up, here's the deal. The villains will be hiding a nuclear weapon in their hideout, and the heroes have to go and take it. The heroes have a limited amount of time to either capture the villains or secure the weapon. The villains must either capture the heroes or protect the weapon until the time is up. It's like a plot from Western comics. Is that a cheat sheet? Your battle partners will be decided by drawing lots. Is that really the best way? Makes sense because pros often have to team up with heroes from other agencies on the spot during emergencies. It's fine, let's just get to it. I see, apologize for getting ahead of myself. My mistake. And of course, we had Deku and Ochako paired up, Shoji and Shoto, Mineta and Momo, Ida and Bakugo, Mina and Aoyama, Sugar Rush and Annie Voice, Kaminari and Jiro, Sero and Kirishima, Tailman and Invisible Girl, Tokoyami and Sue, of course. So, must be fate. Let's do this. Seriously, I can barely say 2 words to her. Moving on first. Up are these. The hero teams are A, and the villain teams are D. The villain team goes in first. The timer starts in 5 minutes when the hero team sneaks in. The rest of us will watch via CCTV. Ida, Bakugo, you boys need to adopt a villain mindset. This is practical experience. So go all out, don't hold back, although I will stop you if you take things too far. Training or not, assuming the role of villains pains me, so we merely have to guard this? Hey, so Deku has a quirk? You saw his monster's strength, no? Although it puts him at great risk, I'll ask you not to charge straight at Midoriya. He's been punking me this whole time. That damned nerd. The building built blueprints, better memorize these. There's no punishment for failure like with Aizawa Sensei, so I'm not too worried. All Might's so nice, just like on TV. But you look really worried. Well, I mean, we're up against Kachan, Ida too. We just better be on guard. Oh yeah, Bakugo is the one who bullies you, right? I'll even surpass All Might and become the greatest hero. He may be a jerk, but he's amazing. His goals, his confidence, his strength, his quirk, he's stronger than me in every way. But that's why I don't want to lose to him. Also, I think it's kind of interesting how I feel like the only person who looks at it and goes, yes, he is straight up bullying you is Ochako. Everybody else just kind of sees Bakugo as being loud and explosive. But Ochako's like, no, he's bullying. This is a bully. AJ Michael Holmes, thank you for coming through. Wait, is Thomas in the building and I just haven't heard him? No, he's not. Okay. Make sure. All right. So you're like his favorite rival or whatever. Sorry, I'm sure I'm boring you with all this. Not at all. We're a team. Come on. Indoor anti-personnel battle training. Start. Target building, basement monitor room. Watch closely and try to learn something, everyone. Midoriya kid, you're just another student here. No favoritism for you when it comes to grading. Successful infiltration. Lots of blind corners, so watch out. I still can't regulate one for all, so I can't use it directly against someone. 100% power would probably kill them. All we've got is my natural strength and Uraraka's zero gravity. We'll have to make do. Scope out the whole space. My notes on indoor scenarios and tight spaces in general. I gotta remember that. And then boom, Bakugo pulling that with the strip. In this case, the strap is his right hand. A sneak attack. And immediately we get the bomb. He grazed me. You okay, Uraraka? Yeah, thanks. He came out of nowhere. Nice dodging, Deku. Kachan was sure to come straight at me. I knew it. That's low, Bakugo. Sneak attacks are so unmanly. Yet they are still a valid strategy. This is a practical experience. That Midori sure can dodge. I'll mess you up just enough not to be disqualified. And that's a classic scene of Deku grabbing that right hook. Nice. What a pro move. What the? Did he just read my moves? And that good old judo slam. I don't know how many of you have actually taken the time to read it, but, actually did get a pretty decent paneling. But again, a lot of this paneling does kind of remind me of like earlier One Piece, and I know that's one of his inspirations, so that's fine with me. Kachan, you almost always lead with that right hook. I've seen it enough now. You see, I've analyzed heroes I think are awesome in that notebook of mine. The one you blew up and chucked out the window. I'm not going to be your worthless punching bag Deku forever. Kachan, I'm the Deku who always does his best. And then you see Ochaku, but Deku, well, it just screams, do your best. I kind of like it. No more, I won't let you. You spout that crap all while scared out of your mind. Darn that Bakugo, running off on his own. What could he be thinking, really? It pisses me off. And then we get to the next chapter. And the next chapter is character pages for present Mike. Birthday, July 7th, height 185 centimeters, favorite things, radio and TV, behind the scenes. This guy debuted in chapter 3. At first, he was just this chubby old man who made announcements, but that was really boring. So I transformed him into the amped up character he is today. He graduated in the same class as Eraserhead, which now we know that was kind of a rough time in Eraserhead's life, and we see why that's emphasized. So probably had some form of idea of what he wanted to do with them, or was considering cooking up something nice with the two of them down the line. We grew up in the same neighborhood, so me and Kachan were childhood friends. He was the fearless type who could do anything, so he became the leader and troublemaker of our little gang. He wasn't bad or good, just full of confidence, and I admire him for that. There's the enemy, let's trash him. But after his quirk manifested, he started down the path towards bad. People are not born equal. At the young age of 4, I realized that about our society. It pisses me off. Hey, Bakugo, update me on the situation. What's happening? Shut up and keep watch. I'm ready to direct someone. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. Hey, he cut his transceiver. What a scoundrel. What are they saying? These fixed cameras don't have any sound. They're communicating with micro transceivers. We give them to battlers along with the building blueprints. Also, this capture tape. Tying this around your opponent is sufficient proof of capture. So they've only got 15 minutes, but the heroes don't know the location of the weapon, right? Yes, the hero teams are at a real disadvantage, huh? It's like Aizawa told you, say it with me. Plus Ultra. Monsieur Bakugo is. And then we see this when he starts pulling up to give him with that young pitch. Run ahead, Uraraka. Worry about yourself. And then the capture tape comes out. The capture tape. Page 18 of notebook number 10. Good thing I studied up. What comes next? If I know Kachan, he'll rage and come at me again. Damn you, his usual right hook. He's amazing, going toe-to-toe without using his quirk against the top scorer in their entrance exam. From the very start, he's excelled at making split-second decisions. All that info the kid's been recording over the years, it's soaked straight into that obsessed fanboy head of his. I had him, but you can be a hero. After all the support he gave me, it's time to show what I'm made of. Looks like one rope won't be enough to hold him. We gotta come up with a strategy. Get back here, Deku! Hey, must have been fun, yeah? Tricking me this whole time, right? Hiding that flashy quirk of yours? So bring it on. I'll still crush you. He's really angry and scary. Midoriya told me about how Bakugo is as conceited as they come. Looks like his head's swollen up a bit too much. He came straight for me, flat out ignoring Uraraka. I get it. Ida should have been the vanguard with the superior maneuverability, and I suspect Ida knows that. This is probably just Kachan rampaging on his own. There's no teamwork going on here. If both of them had come right at us from the start, then our chances of winning would have been slim. And if I stuck with Uraraka, that's probably what would have happened. The two of us would have wasted too much time dealing with Kachan. No, this is good. As long as Uraraka can go after the weapon and capture Ida, I'll follow after her, making it a 2-on-1. We can win this. Of course, that's assuming I can actually beat Kachan. I'll be fine. Just have to watch out for his palms. You're totally worthless, and you think you can rub shoulders with me? I wasn't saying I could compete with you, not at all. I forgot to mention this, Kachan, but I take it all back. That's why I'm the Deku who always does his best. This freaking Pebble. Izuku, you really can't do anything, can you? You know Izuku can be read as Deku. Whoa, you can read kanji, Kachan? What, you can't? And Deku means someone who can't do anything. Knock it off. Wow, Kachan, you're so smart. Oh yeah, let me emphasize that panel real quick. You're right. This panel is the one that Cameron Bailey in the live chat is referring to. Let me slide that a little close to the camera. Bring that back. Oh, come on, little baby. Here's my little precious Jean Bean. You just enjoying your daddy 30? That's a little baby. Oh, another impressive quirk. You could be a hero with a flashy quirk like that, Katsuki. Oh, wait, sorry. Wow, Kachan, how many skips was that? 7. How about you, Deku? None. Why are you such a loser? Another impressive quirk. You could be a flashy hero with a quirk like that. That makes sense. I'm awesome. I'm better than everyone else. Let's see. I'm starting a conspiracy theory. We never see Deku's dad because he's busy getting beat up at Mitsuki's house and being Bakugo's dad. Oh my lord. He can't breathe fire. That dad's quirk is acid sweat on his palms. Your quirk's so cool, Kachan. Hope I can get mine soon. Whatever you get, no way it'll beat mine. Just a damn pebble. Did you hear? Deku doesn't have a quirk, eh? Right. He's quirkless. Sucks to be him. Deku, he's not awesome at all. Forward march, Bakugo hero team. Whoa, Kachan fell in. Hey, you okay? I bet he's fine. Kachan's so strong. Get back up here. I was just fine. Oh, yeah, I'm okay. No big deal. Need help? Can you stand? I hope you didn't hit your head. Why do you have to look at me like that? You look like you needed to be saved, but I'm better than him. Found you. Just gotta stay hidden until Deku shows up. Bakugo has a natural tendency towards troublemaking, so this exercise is perfectly suited to him. I suppose I must also take on the role of a villain. Though it brings shame to the Ida family name, this training will help me become a better man, I must commit. To become a hero, I will cloak myself in darkness. I am the ultimate evil. Mwah. He's so serious. So you've come, Uraraka. I calculated as much once Bakugo ran off on his own. I know your quirk allows you to levitate objects you touch. So before you arrived, I enacted a counter strategy against you by removing all objects on the floor. Your little tricks won't work here. You've miscalculated, hero. He's really getting into it. He knew I was reading him, so he led with a kick. His guard is up. It won't be so easy to get past his defenses again. I need a strategy. Deku, Uraraka, what is it? Ida found me, sorry. Inching back, but where are you? I don't want to get rough with her, but 5th floor, right in the center. Only a little time left, and it's their win if we run out the clock. Not here. I don't want to lose here. Why not use it? You mocking me, Deku? Kachan, it's now or never. I can do it. I can. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Guessing you know this from all your stalking, but the sweat glands in my palms secrete something like nitroglycerin. That's how I make my explosions. Assuming they honored my design request, this gauntlet's been storing that fluid. Don't tell me he's gonna Bakugo. Stop it now, kid. You trying to kill him? He won't die if it's not a direct hit. Which this was the drawing style for that big explosion. And kind of love it. What? I thought this was just practice. Midoriya kid, they gave you that? Use your quirk, Deku. I'm gonna crush you at your strongest. Katsuki Bakugo, quirk explosion. Explosion creates explosions using the nitroglycerin-like sweat secreted from his palms. The more he stores up, the more powerful his attacks become. And then we get Aoyama. And Yuga Aoyama, 15, birthday May 30th, height 168 centimeters, favorite thing, himself, behind the scenes. I don't really understand this guy myself, but he's always fun to draw, so that's nice. And I think it's worth noting he's one of the few people who doesn't face forward in his profile so far. We should use that for all the twinkle if he's still hiding something. And then we get into the UA files, number 2, class number 17, Bakugo Katsuki. He's got a specialized sweat glands on his palms. They secrete nitroglycerin like sweat that he can detonate at will. Although he controls the flow of sweat to an extent, his glands still retain their original function, meaning that Bakugo is explosively strong in the summer and a slow starter in the winter. The more he sweats, the more power, the stronger his quirk is. It is powerful, flashy ability with no big downsides. The delinquent's future looks bright. And then, of course, just a random description of all this stuff. For the heroes to win, they must either capture the villains or secure the weapon. But the villains can win if they capture the heroes or protect the weapon until time runs out. Good morning, Tunisia. What the? Is that Bakugo? What on earth is he doing? This is my chance. And we see that this is the beginning of Ochako being able to float herself properly without, being on an object or anything like that. Securing the weapon means we win. I won't allow it. To do that, I have to touch it. So you can levitate your own body, dispel. This special move takes a lot out of me. And then Ida, with that blitz, catching that. All right. Your quirk poses no threat as long as you can't touch anything. Now struggle as I continue to take away your precious time. I'm counting on you, Deku. That's awesome. Huh. What's wrong, Deku? Come on. You're not dead yet. An explosion he can direct forward? Guess he wanted a way to attack at range. What's happening, Uraraka? Ooh, ignoring me, eh? Say, didn't you stop him? Bakugo's crazy. He's looking to kill. No. I'll mess you up just enough to not be disqualified. He won't die if it's not a direct hit. All Might's the only one who could hear this. Strangely, a part of him seems calm. Not sure if he's just that petty or what. Anyhow, Bakugo, use that move again and I will forcibly end the match. You will lose. Using massive attacks like that indoors is just asking to have your own stronghold destroyed. Whether hero or villain, it's a bad move and a good way to lose points. As a teacher, I should absolutely stop this now. However, come on, man. The pillar by the window. Got it. Time to pound you. Damn, I can't dodge. Counterattack, I just got to time it. Now. And then, of course, we get the famous mix-up where does that rocket hop, then bounces back towards him. He used the first explosion to simultaneously feint and change his own attack. Then he followed up immediately with another. He doesn't seem like a thinker, but that strategy was fairly intricate. Damn, this guy's good. Here we go. Your old favorite, my right hook. Man, Bakugo was dog walking him at this section of the story. He's rough. Ah, Deku, you're nothing compared to me. And then that good old one-arm toss that became X catapult later down the line. He's not giving me any time to think. Damn, he's just too strong. I have to use it. This is just torture now. He could have really ended it with the capture tape. Not very hero-like of him. I thought Midori was good, but Bakugo's battle sense just can't be beat. He's all instinct. He's running. And of course, this is when we get the on all four legs Deku. Probably a dumb question. You've been reading the new chapters or just doing the rereads for now? Well, I still read the new chapters. There's just no new chapter this week. Not really a dumb question. You're not keeping up with the exact release schedule. Let's see. Okay, some of the scene feel like people forget Bakugo was 4. Tell me which 4-year-old is actually going to accept help, especially one like Bakugo. Oh yeah, no, Bakugo at the age of 4, with the coolest superpower amongst all his friends, who is almost always the leader in anything they do. He was not going to be like, "Oh yeah, I need help. Yeah, save me." No, like that. That's going to be weird for him. That's going to be weird for him. That doesn't make it right, but it's a child's mind. Like when children get to be wrong, like that's normal. So good catch, Denise or Cameron Bailey. No. Why won't you use your quirk? You mocking me? Ever since we were kids, you always have. You're wrong. I know you're looking down on me. I should stop them, but I can't take this from him. It's because you're so awesome that I want to beat you. I want to win. I want to beat you, you idiot. I haven't seen him this pumped since the whole I want to be a hero thing. Stop looking at me like that, you damn nerd. Bakugo sure is confident, huh? For the future he strives for, this battle is absolutely necessary. Detroit, Sensei, this looks bad. Sensei, both of you, stop. It's now Uraraka. And then we see, okay, and that's when Uraraka grabs being one-on-one. I still can't measure up, but smash. And we get that uppercut smash blowing through the top of the building. Ida, sorry, gotta improvise. Comet home run. The move we talk about with Uraraka, but she never gets to use again. That's no home run. And then we get that leap. That from the start, you've been mocking me. I didn't want to use it because I can't really. The blowback messes me up too much. It's just like Aizawa Sensei said, but that's all I could think of. Secured. Ah, the weapon. The hero. Deku's passing out, mask falling apart. The hero team wins. And then Toru Hugakure gets her character page introduced here. Notice it's just like, well, she's totally naked, so you can't see her at all. Favorite things: Caramel hidden camera shows. She started out as a dude, but at some point I realized she'd be whole lot more fun as a girl. I keep wanting to properly introduce her quirk, but the right opportunity has presented itself. I'm working on it. So I feel like he bounced between her and Aoyama for a bit, but was leaning more towards Aoyama subconsciously. Sorry about that. Got these allergies, so keep having to try to clear my nostrils to no avail. The hero team wins. The loser team is not nearly unscathed, while the winners are down for the count. They lost the battle, but they won the war, so to speak. It's just training, though. Am I right? Deku read me like a book, not just that, but it was all a calculation to win the match. In other words, in a full-on fight, I totally lost to Deku. Let's head back, Bakugo. Time for your grading. To the nurse's office. I know. Mini transport robots, transfobots. This is after their rebellion. Whether you win or lose, you can always come out ahead by learning from the experience. Monitor room. Well, I'd say the VIP in this battle is Ida. What? Not Ochako or Midoriya, even though they won? I wonder why. Anyone know? I do. All Might Sensei, it's because Ida was most able to adapt to the scenario. From what I saw, Bakugo's every action was motivated by an obvious personal grudge. And as you mentioned before, Sensei, using destructive attacks indoors is foolish. Midoriya's performance suffered from the same result. Uraraka lost focus halfway through, and her final attack was far too haphazard. Such an attack would be unthinkable if the nuclear weapon were real. But Ida formed an actual counter to strategy, and he envisioned what the actual struggle would be like. He was only too late in reacting at the very end. The hero team only won because this was a training exercise with exploitable constraints. And then there's silence. She said it better than I could. I'd also add that Ida was a bit too stiff, but yes, you're correct. We've got to start at the bottom and work up, and if we don't earnestly cheer each other on, we'll never be top heroes. Number 1, recommended first year, Momo Yaoyorozu. And then, of course, we get that cut of Bakugo, a new location for the next battle. I'm going out, all out, Ojiro. Yeah, the gloves and boots are coming off. Sure. Hagakure, I guess that makes sense for an invisible person, but she's a girl. Damn, this feels unethical. And of course, you get Shoji using his like hearing and all those other stuff. We've got one on the north side of the 4th floor, the other somewhere on the same floor, barefoot. The invisible one must be planning to ambush and capture us. Meizo Shoji, quirk dupla arms. He can replicate his own body parts at the tips of his tentacles. Get outside. It's about to get frosty in here. Our opponents think they're playing a defensive game, but that means nothing to me. And then he instantly froze everything. Bring it on. But fighting without the soles of your feet will be painful. Without harming his ally or the nuclear weapon, he immobilized the enemy. He's too strong. Ow, 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 ow. The hero team wins. Sorry about that. It's warming up. We're in different leagues. Number 2, recommended first year, Shoto Todoroki. Half hot, half cold. He freezes with his right and burns with his left. Range and limits unknown. What a beast. And then, of course, we just get random shots of people like getting ready for the matchups, and then we move forward. Well done, everyone. No serious injuries apart from Midoriya's. Great teamwork, though. You all did splendidly, considering this was your first training exercise. Coming after Aizawa Sensei, such a straightforward class is almost a letdown. We teachers are free to hold no-nonsense classes we choose. Now I'm off to give Midoriya his evaluation, change out of those costumes, and head back to the classroom. He's in a hurry. So cool. Bakugo Kid, that bundle of conceit. The most inflated egos are often the most fragile. As his teacher, I'll have to give him some counseling, but for now, I only barely have enough time to get through a single class. The year's only just started, and this is his 3rd time here. Why didn't you prevent this, All Might? My apologies, Recovery Girl. It's not me you need to apologize to. Yesterday and today, and he's come to me completely fatigued. This isn't so easily healed. I've given him emergency first aid and an IV drip, but now all we can do is wait for him to recover on his own. Come on, I know you gave him your power. Whether he's your favorite or not, you have to stop indulging him. No, you're absolutely right. I was sympathizing with him so much, so I hesitated. But can you keep it down? At least when discussing One for All? Oh, right, sure thing, Mr. Natural Born Hero, Mr. Symbol of Peace. This true form of mine and my injury are common knowledge to the staff here at UA. However, only you, the principal, an old friend of mine, and Midoriya here know about my quirk. It's a secret to all others. I don't suppose that's just you resting on your laurels then. It's that important, huh? That you be a natural born hero and the symbol of peace? Without me, this superhuman society would fall to evil. This is the responsibility of those that wield this power. Then it's all the more important that you learn how to guide him properly. After school that day, Aizawa Sensei is really going to let me have it. Oh, Midoriya's here. Welcome back, man. I don't know what you were saying back there, but that was a wild battle. Nice dodging. We were all super pumped after that crazy first round. I'm Eijiro Kirishima. We were all just discussing the battle training. I mean, Ashido, you dodged real well. I'm Suyu Asui. Just call me Sue. And I'm Sato. So noisy. Want to catch a meal together, Uraraka? What do you like? I like mochi. Desks are not meant to be sat upon. Please get off. Don't get bent out of shape, Ida. Oh, Deku, your arm. Did you get it healed? Not quite. I'm pretty worn out, so Uraraka, sorry I have to. Everyone wanted to talk to me, but he just clammed up and went home. Kachan, eh? I haven't even told Mom. I can't say much, but you should know this, at least. My secret. I got my quirk from someone else. I can't say from who, but this is like a conversation right out of a comic book. On top of that, I can't even use it right. This borrowed power is still pretty useless to me. That's why I tried to beat you without it, but I couldn't. I had to rely on it. I've got to go, a ways to go. That's why I'm going to make it my own someday and overcome you with my power. I came to tell him I hadn't been tricking him, but what the hell? Borrowed power? No clue what you're talking about. But I guess you're going to just keep making a fool out of me, right? I mean, what the hell? I lost to you today. And as if that weren't enough, that icy bastard, no way I can measure up to him either. Ponytail girl said it all, really? Damn it. Damn it. Why? You too, Deku? From here on, I. From here on, you hear me? I'm going to beat you all. Enjoy your win. It'll never happen again, damn it. Kid, let me tell you, that sort of self-respect is important. Without a doubt, you've got the makings of a pro. From now, you just have to get off me all night. I can't walk. Needless to say, oh, I'll be a hero who surpasses even you. And he's back, sure. Being a teacher sure is tough. Kachan's fuse had been lit. Midoriya kid, what exactly did you say to him? But my goals hadn't changed. I would keep chasing after him. A few days later, we learned an important lesson that All Might had warned us about. All Might to teach at UA. You see this? He's a teacher now. Now, what would happen if villains, about how we should fear the cleverest of villains, killed the symbol of peace? All right, so a really cool thing that I wanted to just take the time to talk about is how every single opening act to, or opening arc to an act revisits the Deku versus Kachan dynamic. And it always changes, but it is always about establishing or reestablishing their connection, focusing on how they perceive each other, and the way they've developed both in combat and mentally, and where their direction needs to go in combat and mentally. So obviously here we'll have that focus on Deku just being able to function, utilizing One for All, not breaking himself. Bakugo learning, he really does need to level his head, focus on what he's putting at risk by making these maneuvers. And of course, we have the Deku reveals to him that he inherited his powers somehow, and he has to figure out how to navigate this ability. And, of course, with Bakugo also trying to figure out what he actually means by this. But when you fast forward to Deku versus Kachan 2, the Bakugo has figured out his secret with All Might. And in addition, which I think that's another thing that I want to highlight here, is that All Might's appearance after each of the battles takes a different tone, and it's reflective of his relationship to these students at each juncture. Because when we look at Deku versus Kachan 2, here he shows up, he talks to them, he's trying to comfort Bakugo, and he doesn't reach Bakugo, not really. And this is kind of one of the first, if you think about it, first failures of All Might that we really see. His attempt to reach out to Bakugo, and Bakugo completely dismissing him. And obviously it's partially on Bakugo's personality, but it's clear that All Might doesn't have the right words here. Connecting with people is something that he does seem to struggle with. And when you fast forward to Deku versus Kachan 2, obviously All Might does manage to talk to Bakugo a bit, but instead it's a lot more humbly, and it's not as the big buff symbol of peace for him either. It's as Toshinori Yagi, the guy who was post his prime with the illusion shattered. That is when when All Might approaches him, not as the All Might, the big grandiose figure that Bakugo is trying to defeat, trying to surpass, but as that person who has been under that layer of muscle this entire time. That is when there's some results gathered or garnered via that conversation. That's when they're able to start to connect as true like master pupil to a certain degree. That's when Deku, like Bakugo, once again outperforms Deku in the 1v1 combat scenario. Obviously, here he lost the war, but functionally he won both of these fights. And this is when Bakugo and Deku start to actually develop a bond and start to really understand each other. And they've kind of moved away. And it's interesting that the groundwork is laid here because Deku doesn't say it directly here, but you notice, especially after he explains it during part 2, that he does start to talk more and more like Bakugo starts to amp the aggression, starts to like call him an idiot and all kinds of other things, like gets more belligerent as he's more and more focused on winning. And so when we get that confession out of him, and then we see like Bakugo talking about them getting that lesson on winning and saving, and then we fast forward to Deku versus Class 1A, the Bakugo apology, him acknowledging, this is how I feel about you, this is how I do respect you as a hero. And what I'm trying to do here isn't to, upend you or make myself better than you, but instead our relationship is now at this juncture where I'm trying to work with, support, and enable you in any way that I can. And obviously that had been talked about at different intervals by other characters or in flashbacks with Bakugo and other people. But it is only after Deku versus Class 1A that they actually have this true conversation where they kind of have Bakugo acknowledge their history. And I did mention, Ochako during this fight is the only one that really calls out that he bullied him. And similarly, we have Kirishima who acknowledges that Bakugo was the victim of the sludge villain attack and Deku was the kid who ran up. So their heroism and like the perception of how everybody perceives their relationship obviously evolves, but as their perception and understanding evolves of each other, so too does it evolve how people interact with those two as a duo, even having the fact that they have similar impacts on their classmates emphasized by Aizawa during provisional license exam. So these act beginnings always drive home certain narrative beats and make you remember the core of the story. And Deku and Bakugo's friendship / rivalry / non-friendship in the beginning is one of the central things that pushes forward both of them to become better. And so, which makes it one of the important linchpins of the story. I think we often talk about how Todoroki family is like the main B plot of My Hero Academia, and I don't disagree with that. I think the story of One for All is pretty much the A plot. The Todoroki family is the B plot, and I think that Bakugo and Deku's relationship and the way it impacts the people around them is a strong C plot of this story, because that friendship is constantly reevaluated, reassessed, and it's one of the focal points of these things. And it's worth noting that there's almost always, the same way that the Todoroki family is kind of addressed, there's always something that if these two characters are going to appear in an arc that emphasizes their dynamic. So I think that's a really cool thing that has stayed consistent throughout the entirety of My Hero Academia, especially getting these kind of battles and conflicts at the start of every act to show where they've come. And then we get these character pages for Shoto Todoroki, age 15. Favorite thing is the soba noodles. Birthday is January 11th. Height is 176 centimeters. I think it's worth noting that Dabi and Shoto are born in January. So when you look at Shoto as the true replacement for what he was trying to achieve with Toya, the fact that they, I'm pretty sure, have close birthdays too, makes that drives that home all the more, because the perfect child now is also sharing a month with you for your birthday. Actually, you know what? While we're on this topic, I'm going to see if I can find Dabi's birthday listed. Dabi birthday. What is Dabi's birthday? Let's see. January 18th. So Dabi is born exactly a week after Shoto in the timeline, but that's close enough where your birthday is not going to be it's already not nearly as important, right? Because you're not special, but having your birthday be directly after, it's like anything that was going to celebrate Shoto, even though that's not that kind of household they were in, it's probably going to be more grandiose and fresh in your mind. So just one more way that it just wasn't sweet for Toya. So behind the scenes, I feel like he's the first or second class member I came up with after Izuku, Katsuki, and Ochako. My memory's fuzzy though, so it might have been later. There's a lot to this guy, but I can't reveal what hasn't been shown in the story yet. The supplement, I got a lot of questions about how Chapter 5 said there were 18 kids to a class, when there appeared to be 20 altogether. That 18 only refers to ordinary exam-based applicants. Todoroki and Yayorozu got in on special recommendations, so they're not counted in that 18. Sorry if that was confusing. And then number 12, the chapter page, UA file, number 3, class number 4. Tenya Ida quirk, he's got engine-like devices in his cabs. His fuel gasoline is 100% orange juice. Carbonated drinks stall his engine. First gear, second gear, and third gear. His gear changes allowed to adapt to any number of situations. Run wild and free, Ida. So now we're on chapter number 12. Yeah, just do your best, Ida. What's it like learning from All Might? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm due at the nurse's office. Tell us what the symbol of peace is like in front of his class. How he looks? Super muscly, yeah. Tell us about All Might, the teacher. Every day with him is a reminder that I'm enrolled at the preeminent educational institution. Beyond his obvious dignity and presence, he's also quite humorous. As we students are privy to observing his many facets, we've been given out the opportunity to discover just what makes the top hero. The top hero also, when All Might is, huh? You're the kid from the sludge incident. Bug off. Does All Might, you're a mess. Who are you anyway? He's off today. You're interrupting your class. Please leave. The news that All Might had come to teach at UA. We'd like a direct interview with All Might. Why are you so sloppy looking? I feel like I've seen him somewhere. Maybe not. Shocked the whole country. The media uproar went on for several days. So this is where heroes are made. All Might. Come on, we just like to ask All Might about. No, don't. And then that's when we first get the UA barrier going into effect. What the hell? It's the UA barrier. That's what we call it anyway. What do you mean? The whole place locks down if someone without a full ID or visitor pass approaches the gate. I hear there are more sensors throughout the whole campus. The nerve shutting us out like that without a single comment. For real, 2 whole days we've been here and not a byline to show for it. And then we cut to the training courses. Good work with yesterday's battle training. I've looked over your grades and evaluations. Bakugo, grow up already. Stop wasting your talent. Got it. And it seems Midoriya ended up yet another day with a broken arm. Learn to control your quirk, because just trying isn't going to cut it. I hate repeating myself, but you do have potential, assuming you can overcome this. Work at it, Midoriya. Okay. Now, on to homeroom business. Sorry for the sudden announcement, but today, what is it, another brutal pop quiz? You'll pick a class president. Such a normal school-like thing. I want to be president. Let me do it. I'd like to do it too. In any administration, girls will have to show 30 centimeters of thigh. Oh my Lord, Minetta. This position was made for me. I want to be a leader. In normal schools, the position just entails mundane tasks, so nobody really wants to do it. But in the hero course at UA, it would mean leading the group, a position suited for a top hero in the making. Let's see real quick. Ida should have had more screen panel time. He's grown as a character, but I feel like all of his development was chunked into staying Hosu City. I do think he could have been on camera more. Oh, you see the little baby awake? Yeah, look at you. You're enjoying the taste of your finger. Edith as a character, I feel like, was always supposed to be rigid. Also, hello all. Hey, and that's true. And then he was mostly shunted to tertiary character, just being class rep in the background. I would have liked to see more out of Ida, but I also look at the story it looks like Horikoshi's trying to tell. And placing Ida somewhere where one of my favorite Ida moments is actually in Provisional License. As much as people don't like Provisional License, I've come to have a lot more warmth towards that arc, especially when he's working alongside Aoyama, and Aoyama's kind of like, well, what about you? You know, and he's like, well, I found you, right? Like, I managed to help you, and I'm gonna be able to help you pass. And I love this performance in joint training, but I do kind of wish, obviously, in a world where Horikoshi is healthier, that we could have gotten a lot more time doing a little bit of EDA stuff or some side missions during the Endeavor Agency arc. I wouldn't have minded if we got a couple 4 or 5 chapter segments where we cut away to different students during their work studies, because I think that would have been or added to a lot and made the story even better. But we also did get, everything pushed back a little while. Let's see. Quiet down, everyone. Leading the many is a task of heavy responsibility, but ambition is not equal to ability. This sacred office demands the trust of its constituents. If this is to be a democracy, then I put forward the motion that our true leader must be chosen by election. This is just a classroom, not Congress. But Edith, we haven't known each other long enough to build any trust, and everyone will just vote for themselves. That's precisely why anyone who manages to earn multiple votes will be the best suited individual for the job. Will you allow this, Sensei? However you do it, just make it quick. And then boom. I got 3 votes. We see Izuku Midoriya with 3, Yaoyorozu with 2, and then everybody else obviously has 1 vote because they voted for themselves. Who the hell voted for Deku? I guess we know it wasn't you. Better not let Bakugo know it was me. He is scary. 0 votes? I thought as much. This is the harsh reality of this sacred office. So you voted for someone else? You're the one who proposed an election. What exactly do you want, Ida? Fine, so your president is Midoriya and your vice president is Yaoyorozu. What a shame. Seriously? I know Midoriya's got the right stuff for this, and Yaoyorozu was pretty cool analyzing the battle training and all. We cut over to the cafeteria. So many kids here. Besides the hero course, there are also students from the support and business courses. We all come together for lunch. Hey, pretty girl, you like the book? You like the faces? See, look at that. This is Jeannie's world. We all just live in it. She likes reading along with her dad. Little baby. I'm just a little worried about whether or not I can really be class president. You can. Worry not. Midoriya, your grit and decisiveness in a pinch makes you perfectly suited to lead. That's all. That's why I voted for you. One of the votes was from you, but didn't you want to be president too, Edith? You've got glasses and everything. Ooh, Raka really just says whatever pops into her head, huh? Again, ambition and suitability are different matters. I humbly made the choice I felt was correct. Humbly? The way you talk, Edith. Are you a rich kid? A rich kid? I don't like people to know, so I try to hide it. But yes, mine is a renowned hero family, and I'm the 2nd son. Whoa, cool. Do you know of the turbo hero Ingenuine? Of course, he employs 65 psychics at his office in Tokyo, so you're how very informed. Yes, he is my brother. He's so frank about it. He leads the people with his unwavering adherence to the rules and regulations. A truly beloved hero. It's my admiration for my brother that inspired my own desire to become a hero. Though I realize I'm not yet ready to lead anyone. As the superior candidate, I was right that the role should go to Midoriya. Never seen you smile before, Ida. Eh? Is that so? I smile on occasion. Just like I've got All Might, Ida has Ingenio. As I thought. He... The alarm. Security level 3 has been broken. All students, please evacuate in an orderly fashion. 3. What's security level 3? It means someone's infiltrated the building. Hasn't happened in my 3 years here. Anyway, hurry up and get out of here. Ow, ow, ow. Stop shoving. Wait, I'm going to fall. I said quit pushing. Ow, what's going on? Such a rapid response to danger. I'd expect no less from this great institution. Maybe a little too rapid. Everyone's panicking. Ooh, I'm going down. Deku, Midoriya. Who could have infiltrated? It's the press corps? Give us All Might. He's in there, right? He's out today. Just give us a comment. That's all we want. If we give you people an inch, you'll ask for a mile. This is completely illegal and villainous even. Can we blow them away already? Lay it off, Mike. They'll write what they want either way. Let's wait for the cops. There's no danger. It's just the media. Everyone calm down. Ouch, hold on. I'm falling. Stop pushing. This is dangerous. Where are the teachers? They're dealing with the press. Stop it, guys. Slow down. This sucks. Kirishima and Kaminari. It looks like no one knows there's no cause for alarm. They've all just fallen into a panic. Ida, Uraraka, what would Midoriya do, or my brother, at a time like this? Uraraka, make me float. What will draw their sight and focus their attention? Uh-oh, what's up? Uh-oh, pretty girl, did you give me a little spit up? Hey, pretty girl gave me spit up. You give me the rag. You, wifer. Oh well, we'll just survive, baby. Unjin Booth. Whoa, Ida. Slam. Everyone, make it short and concise. Everything is fine. It's just the press. There's nothing to panic about. We're fine. This is UA. Behave in a way befitting this great institution. Also, this is a small detail, but I would just like to point out that it's kind of wild that so many of these students like immediately, hey, it's okay, little baby. It's okay. Let's get this little baby. Yeah, hold on. If your dad picks you up, it holds you a different way. Huh? What if your dad holds you like this? Huh? Nosy. 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 Yeah, that's my dream bean. My dream bean, my dream bean, my genie beanie, my genie bean. Yeah, look, my little baby, my little baby. Nosy. That's my baby. So what I was gonna say was, it's kind of embarrassing when you think about how all these supposed to be heroes, some of them who have done work studies, were shaking in their boots. Because like, think about this. Even if the classes aren't that big at UA, it means you had third course and second year and third year students. And in the case of third years and probably some of the second years who've done work studies, shaking in their boots off an invasion. Nobody wanted to smoke. Nobody was like, man, who broke in here? Let me go fold them real quick. I'm gonna just assume that the big three were off, like doing schoolwork. He might have added them a little later in the story planning. But those three, we can assume they were off doing some shit. But everybody else, they get no excuse for being Charmin soft. Ain't that right, Gene Beanie? Say, we don't tolerate no Charmin soft heroes in these streets. Charmin Ultra, less is more. Just a little baby. Boo, 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 boo. That's my little baby girl, okay? You want to pass it? You want to pass it? Go to sleep? No? Go pass it? Okay. Punch your dad? It's okay. You can punch your dad. The police arrived and the reporters were driven away. Bad media, bad. So go ahead, class president. I'd like to choose the other student council members, but before that, this is important. I believe that Ida is better suited to be a class president. You all saw how well he led everyone in that crisis. I think he's the correct choice for the job. Oh, sounds good. Ida really showed us stuff back in the cafeteria. Not that I've got anything against Midoriya. He was like a beacon. He was like a beacon pointing to the emergency exits. Whatever, just get on with it. What a waste of time. And I will accept the job then. You can do it, Mr. Exit Sign. Exit Sign Ida, do your best. How Ida became class president. Anyway, how did they manage to? Is my position really safe? No ordinary, which was Momo's thoughts. Hey, look at you. Look at you. Yeah, look at you. Yeah, the smiling baby. That's right. You a smiling baby. Gotta give you baby cheeks. Give me baby cheeks. Give me baby cheeks. No ordinary reporter could have done this. Someone instigated this whole affair. Did some evildoer manage to slip in? Or do they intend to wage some greater war? I know this is a bit of an aside, but props to Corey for handling his cast of characters the way he has. That is so damn hard to keep up with. Oh, it is. It is. Tailman has a drippy graphic tee here. Hey, little baby. Like, the boy is dripped out. I respect it. So, birthday, May 28th. You said in that panel, let's see, that panel was for a year, right? No, it was you can see that he had decayed it. But oh, you mean that whoosh? Yeah, that whoosh panel is definitely Kurogiri getting him out of there, which is arguably another clue that he had been to UA before based on their description of the rules of his powers. Hey, little baby. Hey, little baby. Hey, little baby. Yeah. Lucy. Little baby. He's got a sturdy tail. That's it. The fact that he managed to pass the entrance exam, that alone is proof of his strength. I think he's a real hard worker. When he inevitably can't find clothes that work for him at the store, he just asks an employee to make the necessary alterations. That's become standard practice at clothing stores since the proliferation of quirks. Wednesday at 7:35 a.m. Rescue training. See this lucky little family? Come after me and I'll snap their necks. Got that? Stay back, heroes. Serial robber and murderer habit headgear. Not only strong, but a quick strategist. Save us, heroes, at least my daughter. Damn, this guy can really move. And now to make my escape. Fear not, good family. Hey, what up, Kendall? Why, you ask? Because I'm on my morning commute. Oh, did you spit up a little more? Oh, precious little baby. Look at you being happy and smiling even through the spit up. Oh, Darla. I'm so precious. Yeah, all my, we appreciate it, but he'll put us out of business. Thank you, sir. We had our hands full with this one. Just happy to help. I mustn't be late now. Farewell. A hit and run. I mustn't be late. However, my speed's dropped. I've been weakening ever since I passed on my power. What's more, my maximum duration was shortened when I overdid it that time. We told him, I'm sorry, I haven't even told my mom, but I just had to tell him something. I'm so sorry. He's not the type to brag or boast, so perhaps that I wasn't explicit enough. Guess this is the consequence of being so sincere. Luckily, Bakugo seemed to think you were pulling his leg. I can forgive you this time, but please don't tell another soul. You must be aware of the responsibility that comes with this power. Should the world learn of it, I have no doubt that all Might or scum would come and try to steal it away. This secret is all that prevents society from falling into chaos. It also meant to protect you, understand? From characters such as Sunso to even minute ones like Fuwa, Hori has it in the bag. Like we even see that one random citizen again, Starhead dude, where he gives a speech at the right time. Hey, I'm a Frank fan. I call him Frank Star. Yeah, no, you don't like that one, little baby? What about this one? Like this one? No, you don't want any of them? Okay. Starburns. Ah, who's the little baby? Gene being the baby. You gotta say the baby. Um, sorry, I'm busy loving my daughter. Now, suitable successor or not, he's still just a 15-year-old kid. I had to make it clear to him. I heard there's a hostage in crisis in the town next over. Now for today's basic hero training. This time, All Might, myself, and one other will supervise. This time. So it's a special class. What are we doing exactly? Preparing you for disaster relief from fires to floods. It's rescue training. Rescue, huh? Sounds like another rough day, right? Come on. This is what being a hero is all about. I'm pumped. I'll be right at home in a flood, Riddick. Hey, I'm not done. It's up to each of you whether or not you wear your costumes, but some of them are ill suited to this sort of activity. The training site is a bit remote, so we'll be going by bus. That's all. Get ready. Rescue training. This will help me become the great hero I know I can be. I'll do my best. What you doing, Junior? Hey, what you doing? What you doing? Hmm? 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 Yeah, that's you. That's what you be saying. Remember funny. Yeah, that's that baby smile. That baby smile. Hmm. You wore your gym clothes, Deku. Where's your costume? It didn't make it through battle training in one piece. The school support company is repairing it. Just gotta wait for now. I bought a new one of these things though. Line up according to your ID numbers. Fill those seats in an orderly fashion. Ida going full throttle. Darn, it was this type of bus. All that for nothing. I generally say what's on my mind. Midoriya? Oh, what is it, Asui? Call me Sue. Your work resembles All Might's. Really? Nah, I mean, I hold up, Sue. All Might doesn't get hurt though. They're already different in that way. But that sort of simple strength enhancing quirk is awesome. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Not like my hardening. I'm good in the fight, but it's real boring. The start of the Hiroshima insecurity plot line. All that masculinity just to be sad inside. I think that's pretty neat though. Your quirk's more than enough if you want to go pro. Pro, but don't forget, but heroes also have to worry about popular appeal. My naval laser is both strong and cool, perfect for a pro. As long as you don't blow up your own stomach. And we get a strong emphasis on that the face of Aoyama here in his dismay. I think it's fascinating how much emphasis is put on Aoyama in the early portion of the story. Like, especially like retro, like obviously part of it is hindsight, but Aoyama is emphasized a lot in a lot of random ways, especially with him being emphasized here in a quirk in a conversation about how Deku's quirk has blowback. And we know that Deku's quirk has blowback because it wasn't made for his body. And then we have this emphasizing of the quirk not being good and possibly blowing up Aoyama's stomach, just like we mentioned how I One For All can blow off Deku's limbs. So it's kind of cool. Hey, little baby, I know you staring at me. You staring at your dad. You staring at your dad. You want to talk strong or cool? That'd be Todoroki and Bakugo. But Bakugo's so unhinged, she'd never be popular. Would you say, Frog Face? See, we've only barely started socializing, and already you've made it abundantly clear to us the unpleasantness of your steamed turd of a personality. Yeah, okay, Mr. Vocabulary. How about I pound you? Howchon's getting bullied? Who'd have thought? Guess that's UA for you. What a vulgar conversation. I think it's fun. I don't think your mouth could get any fouler about to go. We're here. Look sharp now. Okay. Whoa. Is this Universal Studios Japan? There's the flood zone, landslide zone, conflagration zone, etc. Every disaster and accident you can imagine. I built this facility myself. They call it the unforeseen simulation zone. Oh, hey, 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 hey. What's up? Huh? What's up? Have a seat. Come into my office. Hold on, we gotta have a legal conversation here with my baby. What do you? What you have a complaint to register? Mm-hmm. You're feeling a little fussy? You're just a baby, though. Yes, yes, I understand that you're just a baby. Hmm? You don't have a proper mastery of English, so I'm just guessing what you're thinking? Well, that's true. That's what I have to do. Hmm. What's up? Oh, you need different cuddles? You want me help like this now? You want to listen to your dad's heartbeat? You want to try heartbeat listening? All right. Here, I'll zip you up again. You want to try being back in the zipper? Back in the jacket? You want to go back in the jacket? Lean back. For any of you future fathers out here, know this technique. It may save you some time to game. But also, let's see, how long has this stream been going? This might be hungry, baby. You know what, hungry, baby? Oh, yep, hour and a half. Almost here. Here, you gonna hang out with mommy and eat for a bit? You can come back to dad? Okay. We'll get you over to mommy. All right. So it really is USJ. It's the Space Hero 13. He's a gentleman hero who does what we know. Gentleman isn't right anymore. A gentleman hero who does his best work in rescue scenarios. Ooh, I love 13. 13th where? All Might. I thought he was meeting us here. About that, senpai. It seems he just about reached his limit during his morning commute. He's resting in the break room. Apologies. I'll try to show my face near the end of the exercise. I'm truly sorry about this. The height of irrationality. Well, we should just be on our guard, just in case. So be it. Let's get started. Before we do, I have 1 or 2 points, or 3, lots of points. 4. As I'm sure many of you are aware, my quirk is called a black hole. It can suck in and tear apart anything. And you've used it to save people in all sorts of disasters, indeed. However, my power could very easily kill. I've no doubt there are some among you with similar abilities. In our superpowered society, the use of quirks is heavily restricted and monitored. It may seem that this system is a stable one, but we must never forget that it only takes one wrong move with an uncontrollable quirk for people to die. During Gazawa's physical test, you came to learn the power of your hidden potential. Through All Might's battle training, you experience the danger that your respective quirks can pose to others. This class will show you a new perspective. You will learn how to utilize your quirks to save lives. Your powers are not meant to inflict harm. I hope you leave here today with the understanding that you're meant to help people. That is all. I thank you for listening. He's awesome. Bravo, bravo. Great. First off, let me get the swirl. And this is one of the first introductions to Tomura Shigaraki. Let's see. Also, first appearance of Baku has never once reprimanded Commodore Ferocity, Aniki Might Law. Cameron Bailey, also first appearance of 13. They made a background character, but they fit so well. I know you didn't learn it from me, but damn, you learned quick. Hey, I appreciate that. Smoke that fire. 13 Akuragiri being introduced here. was so random to me in the beginning, but it feels like as it was all intentional. So what I really like about this is that when we find out that Shigaraki's childhood goal was to be a hero, and it got twisted and rejected, and it's led him down this path. If you think about one of the things that has been discussed is could Shigaraki have worked as a rescue hero, similar to how 13 does. She pulls in wreckage, stuff like that, destroys that, and it allows for people to be saved. Similarly, could she have gone out of her way, or could Shigaraki have been able to, decay steel beams, stuff like that, that was maybe holding people down, pinning them under, stopping them from being able to get rescued? Had to drink some water with my baby. Huddle up, huddle up and don't move, huh? Ironically, 13, protect the students. They appeared before us during our rescue training. What the heck's that? More battle robots? Like during the entrance exam? Don't move. Those are villains. We learned that what the pros are up against. 13 in Eraserhead, is it? According to the staff schedule I received the other day, All Might is supposed to be here. Of course, that whole incident was this scum's doing. Where is the? We've come all this way and brought so many playmates. All Might, the symbol of peace. Is he here? What they face in the field. I wonder if some dead kids will bring him here. Which I'll also say that when you look here, like the art that introduces Shigaraki is far more menacing than how he ends up looking in the anime, to the extent that it's not one of those things that I'm like, yeah, the anime, yeah, because you guys know I don't really enjoy the people who want to over grumble about the anime. But I do want to acknowledge that Horikoshi's art does struggle with being captured in like that animated style. I'm gonna mute myself so that I can blow my nose and not. All right, I'm gonna try these toffee Oreos my wife got me because she wants me to try these toffee Oreos. I don't know if they're good or not. Thank you, Tunisia. Thank you for that. Bless you. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my review of the toffee crunch flavor cream Oreo. Hmm. I think these are pretty stellar. Probably give them like a B plus or an A minus. And as to the which studio do you think you could or would fit Hori's art style better, I don't think this is an issue of studios, because when I look at the Hell's Paradise anime, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's very beautiful. I don't think it always gets the horror across. Similar with JJK, I think Mappa did a good job adapting it. I think it's enjoyable to watch, but I don't necessarily feel like it comes across properly. To a certain degree, I just don't know if, especially like the horrific aspects of manga or things that are designed to like really be, because ultimately, and when mangaka are drawing these like scenes that are designed to be scary, they are specifically leaning into the medium itself. And so something that is extremely powerful in one medium is not going to directly translate into another medium. So if I draw or sketch something and like do with charcoal or pencils, I might not be able to replicate that same exact imagery or feeling of dread or whatever with paint, because it's a different medium, it's going to have different type styles of shading and blending and all that other kind of techniques. And I say this as someone who's not necessarily like the best at art. It's just a matter of different art forms and art formats and materials produce different results and have a whole litany of techniques within those subcategories of art. So I think that it just comes down to like when we see a page that is just so well done, but it doesn't translate into the anime, it's just about the fact that what makes that page good is how well it taps into the medium itself. Right. Like when I see it, like, okay, so like Nathan just brought up, or Indot brought up, when I see animation of Chainsaw Man, I don't think it's a bad series. I don't think it's poorly done. But to a certain degree, like Fujimoto's characters are a lot more plain looking than they look in the anime. They all the characters look a little cleaner than Fujimoto draws them. Fujimoto purposely draws people to look a bit more average, a bit more plain than the average mangaka draws their characters. Like a lot of mangaka lean more into that pretty boy vibe, and Fuji doesn't. Fuji wants people to look like normal, everyday people because a lot of his stories are supposed to bring out, even when they have supernatural elements to them, they're supposed to emphasize like the humanity and the day-to-day humdrum, and also obviously an homage to cinema because Fujimoto really loves film. He loves cinematography. He loves movies. That's one of his loves. Yeah, you better take some Oreos, Byford. But yeah, I took animation classes for a bit, and it's a very different ball game. Graphic novels, manga are a static medium, so details are important. Animation is a moving dynamic medium, and has two different meanings to contain many same thing. Exactly. This is why old toy DBZ is pretty fire. All right. All right. So getting back to the volume, unless I read something in the chat. What they face in the field is evil unleashed. Now, we get 1328, 28 years old. Favorite thing is museums and nature documentaries. Birthday is February 3rd, height 180 centimeters. Behind the scenes, meant to be someone who demonstrates that being a hero isn't just about fighting. I really like his design, but what about under the helmet? If I get the chance to show him without the suit, I will. If not, I won't. Kill the symbol of peace. Villains, no way. What villains be dumb enough to sneak into a school for heroes? Sensei, aren't there intruder sensors? Yes, of course there are. Are they only here or also at the main building? Either way, if the sensors aren't working, it has to be one of their quirks that's doing it. This place is far from campus, and they picked a time when there'd be a few people here to protect it. So maybe they're not as dumb as they seem. They must have an objective because this is a well-coordinated sneak attack. 13, begin evacuation and try calling the school. One of these villains must be jamming the sensors. There's a good chance one of their electric types is causing the interference. Kaminari, try using your quirk to signal for help. Got it. But Sensei, you can't fight them all alone. Against that many, even you can't nullify all their quirks. As Eraserhead, your fighting style involves erasure and a quick mind to capture. A head-on battle isn't And then we cut away to one of my favorite scenes in the series. No good heroes of one trick pony. 13, take care of them. Brain squat, let's move. Our intel said it was supposed to be 13 and All Might. So who's this? No, but he's coming at us all alone. A dead fool then. Huh? I can't shoot. Of course, and then that 3-man binding into a head smash. You dumbasses, he can cancel out your quirks just by looking at you. That's a Eraserhead. He cancel quirks. Let's see if that trick works against us heteromorphic types. No, it doesn't. Only against operative or transformative quirks. However, statistically, guys like you tend to shine in close quarters combat, which is why I've got countermeasures for you. He's good at hand-to-hand, and those goggles hide his eyes, so we don't know whose quirk he's canceling. Even a mob of us isn't slowing him down, I see. I hate pro heroes. Ordinary villains don't stand a chance against them. Wow, he can hold his own even out when outnumbered. This is no time for analysis. Hurry up and evacuate. I won't allow that. Damn it, the blink of an eye, he may be the deadliest one here. Greetings. We are the League of Villains. Forgive our audacity, but today we've come here to UA High School, this bastion of heroism, to end the life of All Might, the symbol of peace. We were under the impression that All Might would be here today, but it seems his schedule was revised. Well, no matter. My role remains unchanged. And then we see Bakugo and Kirishima going in. Not if we end you first. Bet you didn't see that coming. That was close. Yes, you students, though you may be, you are the best of the best. No, get back, both of you. Be gone. And then we have, let's see. I wonder. Okay, so I can't see Aoyama's placement, but I don't see Invisible Girl's placement. Writhe in torment until you breathe your last. Everyone. What? The flood zone? He teleported us. Must be his quirk. They want to kill All Might? Just what the hell is going on here? There you are. It's nothing personal, kid. But say goodbye. And of course, we remember Sue coming through with the clutch rescue, drop kicking in the middle of the ocean. Midoriya, goodbye. Goodbye. For a frog, she's got pretty nice boobs. Yeah. Thanks, Asui. Call me Sue. But we seem to be in trouble here. Tsuyu Asui, quirk frog, can do whatever a frog can, of course. It seems his schedule was revised. They know our schedule. The simplest explanation is that they caused that media rush the other day in order to get their intel. It's like Todoroki said. They've been waiting for this chance and they prepared for it well. But there's no way they could ever kill All Might. He'll thrash him once he gets here. Bam, pow, Mineta. They must have figured out a way to kill him. Otherwise, why come here just to get beaten? I wouldn't put it past him. That one guy promised to kill us too, after all. Who says we can even hold out until All Might gets here? Even when he does show, who says he won't be killed? Midoriya, that brat, I'll kill her. A whole school of them? Okay, I like the pun. So they must have figured out a way to beat All Might. Probably that must be it. Doesn't make sense either way. But why kill him? Because he stands against villains, against evil? Because everyone calls him the symbol of justice? No. I mean, there has to be a specific reason. You can be a hero. I don't hate it. A reason. Come now, Midoriya kid. Congrats on passing. Fear not. I am here. A reason. Hell if I know if there's even a chance that they have a way to beat All Might, then we have to. Okay, so this paneling is fucking amazing. This is possibly one of the best foreshadowing junctures in the entire fucking story. because he's sitting here saying there has to be a reason, there has to be a reason, and we're getting cutaways to his childhood and the influence All Might had on him as a kid, how All Might became that thing he wanted to be. And when we flash forward all the way to My Villain Academia, we finally get Shigaraki talking about how he was going to be All Might when he was playing a hero with those kids, how he really wanted to be a hero, how his dad completely rejected it, and we know that his grandma passed the power on to Toshinori. Obviously, that based on what All Might describes earlier in the story, that he gets weaker as he, as time apart from the quirk grows. Obviously, we don't know if Nana passed it to him directly on that battlefield, but if we assume if she had given it to him even before, 3 months before that battle, this is still, because this takes place like 3 months after he's already given away One for All. So, like, this idea that he's already given away One for All and he's been lessened in power. So this idea that All Might taking that power from Nana is potentially, though I would say it is not the reason why she lost to All for One back in the day, is phenomenal. This is probably one of the best things in the USJ that I don't think was as heavily emphasized in the anime, or maybe it was and I just don't catch it as well. But like having it layered this way, like seeing the way that All Might encourages him, and then you think about the lack of encouragement and lack of positive role model that Shigaraki had as a child, it just so perfectly lines up with the motivations we get down the stretch, so that you can kind of tell that Horikoshi had at least something planned with Shigaraki all the way back here, especially, when we find out that his name is Tenko and all that other good shit. Man, I really just wanted to gush about how I really like this section of the story. So if there's even a chance that they have to, well, then we have to. You all lost to a kid. How pathetic. Come on now. You're adults, aren't you? Gashoto immediately one-shots him. We've got a job to do. We have to fight to win. And it's just, of course, a view of all the different battlefields. And then we get Sue, winter clothes. Favorite things are rain and jello, height of 150 centimeters, and birthday is February 12th. Behind the scenes, I've wanted to include a froggy character for quite a while now, so creating Sue was really satisfying. He was meant to be a guy at first, but the class needed more girls. I'm glad she swapped though, and I really like her design overall. And it just says gets cold easily. I can't contact 13 or Aizawa. Good reason or not, I put my hero work ahead of my teaching. I was quite foolish. What do I tell them when I show up at the end? Anyway, I should be fine in another 10 minutes. No, I'm going. Hold on. The principal. Yes. Am I a mouse, a dog, or a bear? All you need to know is that I'm the principal. Your coat is looking splendid today, sir. My secret is keratin. No human can produce such luster. Enough of that, though. And then we see it says Yahoo News. Hey, little baby, you like getting rocked in your chair? Yeah, look at you looking up at your dad, or yeah, you such a pretty little baby. Enough of that, though. Look, Yahoo News. All Might resigns 3 incidents in under an hour. The ne'er-do-wells in the city haven't let up even after you came to town. But rushing off the moment you hear there's trouble is so very like you. You really haven't changed at all. Your injury and its after effects have limited you as a hero, not to mention being busy educating the successor to One for All. But you being the stubborn symbol of peace you are, you refuse to make either of those things public knowledge, which is why I recommend that you teach here. So try taking it easy once in a while. Even today, you would only be able to attend a portion of the class. Yes, I did offer you the position here, but don't forget that you also accepted it. And so I'd appreciate it if you tried a bit harder to prioritize your role as a teacher. This city has enough hero agencies to deal with common criminals. You're absolutely right. That's why I was just getting ready to head to the USJ. But you'd be forced to return soon thereafter, no? So why not enjoy some tea and crackers with me? I can tell you about my theories on education. He's pouring tea. There's no stopping him once he gets going. It didn't even go to voicemail that I couldn't get through it all is what worries me. First, on the inevitable stresses and burdens when walking the line between hero and educator. Sensei, you haven't changed either. Let's see, I believe on Crunchyroll, the Brat Minetta. This showcase so well so you can work in a group, being the pillar that others rely on. Aniki reads and analyzes MHA to me as I sleep, ASMR. I'll take it. I will take that. That is a compliment. Shoto roasting enemies while freezing them, multi-talented. Shoto is better than Ultimate Big Chill. Actually, man, Big Chill is one of Ben's best aliens. We were having dinner the other night, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch Ben 10 real quick. Let's see if it holds up. Watching that with my wife, and she was telling me how my brother-in-law, so her little brother, Ben was like his go-to character, where he needed all that merch for the guy. Like if he wanted a backpack, it was Ben 10. T-shirt, Ben 10. Toys, Ben 10. But love some Ben 10. Also like Generator X, but I think that one doesn't get nearly as much love, but that's okay. So where is everyone? Can we confirm their locations? They've been scattered, but they're all in the facility. Physical attacks are no good. He just warps away. This guy's quirk is too much to handle. Class president, yes. Your job is to run back to the school and report on what's happening. The alarms haven't sounded and the phones aren't working. The alarm system uses infrared tech. The fact that it hasn't activated, even though Senpai, that is Eraserhead, is down there nullifying quirks, means that whoever is interfering with the system has hidden themselves well. That being the case, your going back is our best option. The class president can't very well abandon his class. He said, go out the emergency exit. These are alarms on the outside, which means that these guys must only be causing trouble in here. So if you make it out, they can't follow you. Shake off that mist man with that speed of yours. Please use your quirk to save us all. Just like in the cafeteria, we can provide all the support you need, and we will do it. Aside from the fact that you have no hope, what sort of fool discusses strategy in earshot of the enemy? It hardly matters if you overheard. You can't stop us. Let's see. I met Ben 10 herself last weekend at a convention, Tara Strong. Oh, nice. Every now and then I stumble on her TikToks and she's like, does different character voices randomly. It's kind of fun. How can we possibly fight you, dumbass? These guys might even be tough enough to kill All Might. You're contradicting yourself, Midoriya. Our only hope is to hide somewhere until the UA heroes come to rescue us. Mineta, those guys down there, they're clearly suited to aquatic combat, right? Stop ignoring my point. So the ringleaders must have recruited their team knowing about USJ's different environments. Exactly, their intel told them that much at least. But with all their careful planning, one odd point sticks out. They zap you, our Asurasu, into the flood zone. Take your time then. Oh, okay, right. What's your point already? What I'm saying is they must not know about our quirks. I'll be right at home in a flood, Ribbit. If they'd known about me having frog powers, they'd have dumped me into that fiery area. It's exactly because they don't know about our quirks that their strategy was to scatter us and overwhelm us with numbers. They've got us beat when it comes to numbers and experience, so there's only one way for us to win. Exploit the fact that they don't know about our quirks. Look, they're not trying to get on board. That supports my theory. Even so, that also means they're not underestimating us. Let's see. Man, a lot of heteromorphs being villains. Man, we're reading this. MHA had a lot. See, there's like this random emote wheel that's just like in the way, so I can't see like the final word in this row. Whoever designed this UI did not think it all the way through. Man, rereading this, MHA has a lot, or at least some multiple cursing. Oh yeah. The new one will grow. All right, so let's see. I can jump really high and stick to walls. My tongue can stretch to a maximum of 20 meters. Also, I can spit up my stomach to clean it and secrete a poisonous fluid. I say poisonous, but it really just stings a little. Secrete? Those last two aren't that useful. Just forget about them. Secrete? Mineta, you've come so far. Wow, you're strong. I underestimated you. I have super strength, but immediately after using it, it messes me up. My quirk, it's a double-edged sword. He just takes off one of his balls, sticks it to the hole. It's really sticky. If I'm feeling good, it'll stick there all day. The new will grow and it's the old one's place it, but if I take too many, I'll start bleeding. They'll bounce off my own body without sticking to me. Like I said, we just gotta wait to be rescued. My quirk is terrible for fighting multiple opponents. No, not at all. It's a great quirk. We just have to think of how to make use of it. And then we get the ship being slashed in half, of course. I know most of us remember this scene where you kind of, which it's kind of a shame because I have to assume that as it's been addressed in the chat that there's a lot of heteromorphs in this crowd, that it's the discrimination that lets this person being a criminal, because ultimately this is actually a pretty damn good quirk. He could have been a pretty good water hero if he had gotten the right support. So yeah, I'm getting bored over here. Let's finish this thing. So strong, he split the boat in two. Yeah, and he throws balls, splash. Why'd you panic? Damn, now the enemy knows your quirk. No, they're on guard, but they won't touch them. That boat will go under in less than a minute. Once you're in the water, you're chum. Ah, he's right. Minetta, did you really come to UA to become a hero? Shut up. You're crazy for not being scared. We were just freaking middle school kids a couple months ago. I never thought we'd be in a life or death situation so soon. I just wish I could have gotten to grope Yayarozu's boobs. Or his Boobarozu's. Yayarozu's Boobarozu's before I died. What a line. Minetta, you have definitely come far. The moment when the enemy thinks they've won represents your best chance. All Might once said that during a documentary interview. What are you? This is the only way we can win. Hear that, little one? Whiny? What a bunch of babies. Hey, Shigaraki said not to get careless here. Their age isn't what matters. We judge them by their quirks, and clearly our quirks have the advantage in the water. Ah, just like Hachan. Go to hell. Yep, just a dumb kid. No matter how big a smash I pull off, they've got us all surrounded, so I can't hit them all. And even if we somehow make it out with the flood zone, there's some villains to worry about, so I can't sacrifice my whole arm. As soon as he lands, we'll gut him. So the egg doesn't explode. Minetta, he was shaking too. He's as scared as I am. So how? Delaware Smash, which Delaware Smash is one of my favorite moves. Sue, Minetta. Which of course you see like the smash blows all the way down to the Midoriya, you are always doing the coolest. When all I can do is we're getting dragged in. These are that kids. They won't come off? Yeah, by delivering a strong shock to the water surface, it spreads. And once it rushes back into the center, they're all washed up. Looks like we beat our first challenge or something. Good job, you two. So, okay, actually we get Minetta's character page, and then I'm just going to talk about this for a little bit. Looking fashionable. Minetta, birthday, October 8th, height 108 centimeters, favorite thing, women. Behind the scenes, this guy's design was decided early in the planning stage. I'm a perv myself, so he's always fun to draw, but I realize that some out there aren't big fans of perv, so it's hard to find the right balance. I've gotten a lot of letters asking something along the lines of how the heck did this guy pass the entrance exam? So I thought I'd address that here. As Izuku said, his quirk's actually quite strong. The goal in the entrance exam was to incapacitate the foe villain robots. So Minetta stuck his balls to the ground and walls, essentially setting traps that would render the robots immobile. He also plugged up their cannons with the balls. Both of these strategies earned him points. Facing the opponent head-on and chucking them was hardly a winning strategy, though given how easy it is to read. And that's a point that pains Minetta. When Midoriya later on said that Baku was his image of victory, you start seeing it right here. Yep. That was one of the things I was talking about with the way that you can retroactively like see the influence that they have on each other, or at least the influence that Bakugo has on Deku as far as how he perceives combat and stuff like that. Because when he starts going, die you assholes and all this other stuff, it's like, oh, get it. I took a really clean dump this morning, so they should be stuck together all day. Luckily, that managed to get them all. Honestly, that was a real gamble. If they'd been smart, a few of them would have been hidden under the water surface. But I guess they weren't thinking ahead. Still got to be careful with stopping Midoriya. That's scary. So So what's funny about this is that this is Midoriya just expressing doubts here, because if you're under the water when something like that happens, specifically because the Delaware Smash applied force that realistically reached the bed of the little lake they were in, it wouldn't have saved you. Especially if they were like under the water close to the center. all that would have happened is they would have gotten pushed all the way down and then pulled up. So you're not escaping the pull of the current there. You might not get hit by the sticky balls, but you're going to be disorientated as shit. So what should we do now? Our first battle ended with our first win, right? Now calling for help is our top priority. If possible, we should follow the shoreline and make for the exit, avoiding the plaza altogether. But I had made a deadly wrong assumption. Right? Looks like Aizawa Sensei is drawing a large number of them to the plaza. Aizawa Sensei, there's too many of them. Of course, he's more than holding his own there, but it's too much for him. He knew that, but he jumped in to protect us. Don't tell me you're that stupid, Midoriya, Ribbit. I'm not saying we should dive right into the fight. Thinking that we stood a chance against these enemies was a grave miscalculation. Just that we watch for an opening and do what we can to lighten Sensei's loads. All right, so we get this here map. You know, Horikoshi ain't afraid of drawing maps. Let's see. When Midoriya later on says that Baku's, yep, okay, that's it. So yeah, just giving everybody his location. Of course, he made it a point to honor the fact that nobody knew where Aoyama and Hagakure were, because the Hagakure was invisible. Divide and conquer, huh? Forgive me for saying so, but it's hard to see you guys as any more than thugs with quirks you can't even handle. Landslide zone, bastard. The second he was warped here, is he really just a kid? Ow. We've brought along so many playmates. They want to kill All Might. At first, it seemed like they were elite. They'd use their numbers to overwhelm him, but taking a closer look, the pawns are just here for us. Nothing but a gang of low-level cannon fodder. As far as I can tell, there are only about 4 or 5 really dangerous individuals here. Hey, at this rate, your skin will rot away from frostbite, but I'm trying to become a hero, and heroes don't do such horrible things. The thing to do now would be, what makes you think you can kill All Might? Tell me the plan. Yikes, my whole life just flashed before my eyes. Who the hell are these guys? What are they doing here? Worry about that later. We need to figure out how to get away from this mob. Hey, you're a lightning guy, right? Just fry him to a crisp, would you? Weren't you paying attention during battle training? We were partners. I can only cover myself in electricity. Sure, I can discharge it, but I can't control it. I hit you guys too. It's like with Todoroki's power. I'm trying to call for help, but my special transceiver is being jammed. Get it? You can't rely on me here. I'm relying on you. You sure blab a lot for a guy. Fine. Be a human stun gun. Huh? Seriously? Of course, the classic Jiro kicking him. Hey, it worked. I'm pretty strong. Just rely on me, guys. Well, that was easy. Stop messing around, you punk. And then, of course, Jiro shattering it with her heartbeat thing. Annette, get serious, you two. I actually had a pretty good plan in mind, but Kaminari, you, Kyoka Jiro, quirk earphone jack. She can use her plugs to amplify her own heartbeat to definitely explosive levels. She can also detect even the faintest of sounds. My ears, in my costume request, I asked for a way to focus my sound in one direction. Well, it's ready. It took some time. That's how it is with larger objects. A sheet trying to shield yourselves, a 100mm thick insulation sheet. Now, Kaminari, gotcha. You see, I'm actually super strong. And of course, that's when he like electrocutes everybody in the area. Momo Yali Rosu, quirk creation. I'm worried about the others. Let's hurry up and regroup. You're having a wardrobe malfunction. I can make more clothes. She can create anything as long as it's non-living, but she needs to understand the object's chemical makeup first. Knowledge is her power. Theoretically, could Jiro get gauntlets and blast villains with sound waves? That's her heartbeat. That can't be healthy. Well, technically, it's kind of like she's using a microphone without a microphone to make those, and that's why she kind of got those little ones that you would see her like holding up in the air occasionally here. But I definitely think that what she could have done and probably should have done what I think the peak version of her costume would have been like having like plugs on her shoulders that she can just drop it into, that, and then like a circuitry throughout her entire costume, giving her speakers on her legs and arms, so that she could have just always had a consistent connection to the suit. That's what I would have done if I was a support course or costuming design company making her outfit, so that she only needed one jack here and then would have just been able to blast it through anywhere in her heart or on her body, or had multiple speakers. But I'm not the guy who designed their costumes, so it's okay. But I just would have had like a palm speaker, maybe something like that, just something, a little bit of flexibility in how it was done. But limited vision. Dimki Kaminari. Work electrification, exceeding his match wattage fries his brain, leaving him a total moron for a while. 23 seconds. So you're the boss. 24 seconds. 20 seconds. 17 seconds. It's hard to tell when you're scampering around, but there are moments when your hair falls in front of your eyes. Every time you finish a given move, and your max duration's getting shorter and shorter. Don't overdo it now, Eraserhead. Should have taken notes from Aoyama's costume. Yes, I definitely think that would have been I think that definitely would have been a better route to go. Theoretically, Fujiro, yep. Okay, oh. So this is when we get the crumbling. Wait, it's Enda's birthday? Time out, Nick. Man, you're supposed to say that at the beginning of this stream. Happy birthday, bro. My elbow was disintegrating. Your quirk, it's not good in the long group battles, huh? This is kind of different from your usual work, yeah? You specialize in quick sneak attacks, yet you jumped right into this fight, hoping to make the kids feel safe. So cool, so cool. By the way, hero, I am not the final boss. 13 looks like a disaster relief hero. Sensei can't measure up to even the most ordinary heroes when it comes to a fight. And now you find yourself ripped apart by your own power. Sensei! He warped me? I'm done for. Ida, he told you to run. Damn. My dear scattered children, we merely need to wait for All Might to appear. It would hardly be to our benefit if you call for your teachers. They're counting on me. The whole class, it's up to me. And of course, you get the Shoji trying to come in for the save, grabbing the warp gate that was forming. Quickly, damn. Everyone, just hold on. Villains, what pros deal with, we hadn't seen anything yet. Meet the anti-symbol of peace, the bioengineered Nomu. Mauro Yaoyorozu, relatively casual. Birthday, September 23rd. Favorite things, reading, especially illustrated encyclopedias. First, I have to apologize for something. When the chapter with the explanation of her ability was first published in Jump, I wrote that she couldn't produce organic matter. It should have been living things. I thought I could fix it in the editing stage, but the error wound up getting printed. If she couldn't produce organic matter, then when insulating sheet and clothing would be impossible. Anyhow, getting the explanation of a superpower wrong in a manga about superpowers is unforgivable. I can't apologize enough. If she knows the chemical makeup, she can produce any non-living thing. Behind the scenes, just like with Ida, I originally thought to give her quirk to a pro hero, but I made the change when I realized that such an almighty ability would be much more interesting in the hands of someone less experienced. That's all of them. Bunch of mooks. Great, now let's hurry and help the others. If we're here, I bet everyone else is also still in the USJ. I'm worried about the guys who don't really have ways to attack. 13 Sensei's probably got his hands full since we've rushed ahead like that. None of this would have happened if we'd let him suck in the Mist Man. As men, we got to take responsibility. If that's what you want, then go on alone. I'm going to beat that warp gate guy to a pulp. Still pulling that immature crap at a time like this. Besides, normal attacks don't work on him. He's how these punks are getting around. Bring him down and they'll have nowhere to run. And it's not like I don't have a way to beat him. Yes, keep chatting. Let your guard down. I mean, and of course, there's the chameleon dude that tried to stab Bakugo. If all they're sending against us are these idiots, we should be fine. Great reflexes. You sure are calm all of a sudden. You're usually like, die. I'm always calm, you damned broomhead. Ah, there it is. Oh, bonus detail is that manga Bakugo flips him off. I'm out of here. Hold up. You gotta trust your pals. Be a man, Bakugo. You've convinced me. Damn, how impertinent. I won't allow you to leave. What are you gonna do, Uraraka? There, I see it. The automatic doors. Can I kick them down or are they too thick for that? You underestimate me, Four Eyes. Now vanish. I'm not sure why, but if you're wearing this, then you must have a real body. Now go, Ida. She got my body. Go, do it. And then that's when Sarah gets a hold of the thing. Ida's breaking out. If he calls for help, it's game over. And this is when Aizawa starts getting his arms juiced. Canceling out quirks. Pretty cool, but nothing special. Up against crazy strength, you might as well be totally quirkless. He snapped my arm like a twig. Looking at any part of his body should be enough to nullify him. That means that this is his base strength. He's easily as strong as All Might. This is bad, Midoriya. Time for a change of plans, yeah. Ribbit. Tamura Shigaraki. Kurogiri. It's 13, Dad. He's incapacitated, but there were some students I couldn't warp away. One of them escaped. Oh. Kurogiri. One of the things that I think is interesting is that we always talk about like all the, like they were told they couldn't be heroes, blah, 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 parallels. Why don't we talk about the fact that Horikoshi went out of his way to emphasize like the mumbling of Deku and the scratching of Shigaraki, giving both of them their own neurotic tics? That's just like another one of those small little parallels that they have. Kurogiri, I'd turn you to dust if you weren't our ticket out of here. We won't stand a chance against dozens of pros. It's game over, man. It's game over for now. We're leaving. Leaving? Did he just say they're leaving? I think so. Yes, we're saved. Yeah, but I've got a bad feeling, Midoriya. Yeah, to do all this and then just leave on a whim. Didn't they want to kill All Might? UA's just going to be in more danger than ever if they get away now. Game over, he said. What are they thinking? These guys. But before that, let's leave a few dead kids. And this is when we find out that Shigaraki's built different because he has that speed to wound the pride of the symbol of peace. And of course, Deku, we get that legendary process of Deku, like realizing this man decays, thinking he's about to touch Sue's face. And then, of course, the first moment, you really are pretty cool, Eraserhead, as he stops him from doing that. No, 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 no. This one's nothing like the guys in the water. Asui, run, save yourself. Get off of her. Nomu. My arm's not broken. This is when I managed to regulate the power. Did I really do it? I know that smash connected. I did it, huh? So quick. When did he wait? It didn't work? They must have figured out a way to kill him. Otherwise, why come here just to get beaten? Quite a move you just pulled off. And with a smash, too. You a fan of All Might? Well, whatever. And then we see, right as they're about to try to finish the job on all the students, fear not, I am here. Oh my. To be continued. So I think I covered a lot of what was cool in this volume early on, but what I especially kind of like is that this volume actually has a lot of foreshadowing for the dichotomy between Deku and Shigaraki, the way that these characters both have like that core obsession, that origin built upon their idolization of All Might. And obviously, of course, Kurogiri's loyalty lies with Shigaraki more than AFO. He's programmed initially by AFO, but because the program specifically makes him Shigaraki's caretaker, he is inherently more loyal to Shigaraki. this is another one of All For One's miscalculations that I'm a fan of, especially because it also ignores the basis of the personality that he chose for obvious reasons. With when he chooses a Nobu, it's partially based off their personality and what they're into, against, or for. So one of my favorite things about this is story and All For One is a lot of it is just like human error, misunderestimations, and to a certain degree, his vanity constantly comes in to check him in these scenarios. So a huge fan of that writing choice by Horikoshi. And overall, just I'm glad that there's constantly these consequences for the mistakes he's making. As far as a lot of the early stuff, like obviously we get the early Kamijiro dynamic, them playing kind of off of each other, not necessarily, you know, oh, they're definitely getting married after this, well, like kind of, but doing a good job of just kind of establishing their dynamics. Momo's introduction, and of course, Minetta's journey from what we see here, which is like sniveling pervert, and kind of already seeing the foundations of his respect for Deku and how that's going to continue to get built upon in the series until we get to the point where we most recently had, where he became Man-Nata. And, you know, he was willing to die and give up his quirk for Deku, which obviously in Minetta's mind, giving up his quirk, he's giving up his chance at being a hero. And to him, the only way he's ever getting girls is if he's a hero, which means that to a certain degree, Mineta had his Zoro moment, being willing to give up his dream for the sake of the future Pirate King, or in this case, the world's greatest hero. So it's really awesome foundational stuff just to give you what might not seem like believable trajectories for these characters, especially on your first read through. Definitely something that when you go ahead and you get as far as we've gotten in this story now, you know, we're almost 400 chapters in, 391 is the next chapter to come out next Monday. Real good stuff. Really good way to kind of just see the direction that we're going. And I especially like going back and reading this stuff, looking at the foundation that we have for a lot of these characters, I'm just very happy. I like, but do you guys have any further questions or anything like that that you want to talk about? Because I think this volume, specifically because it doesn't close out the story, because I talked about the Deku and Bakugo dynamic while I was wrapping up that particular section of the volume. So people who have been mutilated to the point where they might not be able to use their quirk. Well, Jiro has been mutilated, so she's basically functioning at like half quirk potency from now on. You know, Hawks has lost his quirk. Aizawa has lost the ability to really use his quirk functionally. Depending on how Ida's injuries go out or are processed, we could end up with a quirkless Ida. It looks like his exhaust ports were crumbling. We don't know if they are just straight up destroyed or if his engines have been just completely annihilated. We won't know the consequences of those engines yet, so I don't want to speak too soon on that. But the idea that most of Ida's missions have been actually centered around him using his speed quirk to save people and get information and disseminate it, pretty consistent with his character. Obviously, Bakugo is taking that damage, like a lot of damage, but with where we are right now, oh, and of course, Kirishima has gone far less in the realm of insecure about his quirk as at the point of the story we're at, and we obviously see Mina kind of stepping up and getting to be more of her character, even if her storyline was condensed. As far as villains who are without quirks, Compressed lost some of his quirk potential, but everybody else is still pretty stacked. How much energy can Shoto have left? It seemed pretty sure for having launched that crazy move. So, depending on if you talk about, well, I thought we were talking about characters relevant to this section of the story, my bad. How much energy can Shoto have left? He seemed pretty chill for having launched that crazy move. So, the thing about Shoto is that he kind of, while not fully is kind of an infinite energy cycle, he can kind of last pretty long as he's using his skills right. And in the case of a lot of these people, what he realistically would have done is frozen them, let them lose consciousness, and then gone ahead and thawed them out after they passed out. So just a way to make sure they still can't do anything but help out. And the scale of the attack that he did here wasn't quite as severe as what he was doing during sports festival, and he just kept doing these super huge moves. Like when you see the scale of like what he like heaven piercing ice wall when it's first introduced in comparison to what we have, you know, now, and the fact that he did doubles of those early in the sports festival less training, it's definitely something that and Mina not wanting revenge, I think it's a bit more complicated. I think, like I said, that's a specific chapter that I think would have originally been 3 chapters if Horikoshi was healthier. And I think it would have been a bit more nuanced than I don't want revenge. I think it would have been, I want to get justice, not revenge. I don't want to get my lick back just solely because that's my teacher. I want to stop this guy because he took that teacher from me, and I don't want him to cause that pain for anybody else. That's how I think that storyline would have initially gone if Horikoshi was, you know, not the exhausted man that he is and sick. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else from this volume that I think is especially in need of being covered, because, you know, we talked, did a good job of like kind of going through some of this stuff as we were processing it, even the character pages. Of course, this was the beginning of Shigaraki's respect for Aizawa. One of the things that I think is a bit of a contradiction is, and I'm curious if Shigaraki will catch it within himself, is that he respected Aizawa so much because he was willing to put his life on the line for the sake of his students. But then he seemed to have lost all respect for Aizawa for giving his quirk to Monoma, but not being directly involved in the conflict. And I think there's a bit of a dissonance there where Shigaraki still, as much as he hates heroes, respects what he perceives to be like the truest of heroes, which means in reality, he's hoping for people, just like Stain would do, hoping for people to be as close to All Might as possible, the same ideology that he felt destroyed his life without even realizing it. So I do love that there's the foundation of the contradiction in ideology amongst a lot of the villains who want this perfect, ever self-sacrificing hero while simultaneously being upset at the results of those self-sacrificing heroes in their personal lives. Even with Endeavor, while it's not fully blown, like full-blown self-sacrificing, ultimately striving to be the best hero possible is what caused him to be the worst father he could be. Shoto Bakugo and Deku group link at some point. I really don't know. I think that I think it could easily turn into a case of Shoto finishes his mission, because one of the things that was talked about is how in Heroes Rising, that mission or that movie was kind of one of the, some of the stuff in there is, or was it, yeah, Heroes Rising is the second one. He had thought about making that the, you know, ending, having Bakugo get one for all temporarily, stuff like that. And during that one, he passes out after taking down and freezing Chimera from the inside, which, you know, Toya is freezing from the inside. And then Shoto passes out and he's like, Deku, Bakugo, take care of the rest. Like kind of passing that torch on to them metaphorically to finish out the job against Nine. So I don't think that Shoto necessarily needs to be at the final battle. It's like Uraraka and Sue weren't heavily involved. Hey, little baby. At the final battle in Heroes Rising either. So it depends on where Horikoshi is going and like which direction he's intending to take it. But I don't think that he necessarily needs to be there, and I don't think that's necessarily what he's going for. Like he wanted people to specifically think of him, then functionally there was literally no time to consider where Aoyama was, what with All Might going off against the Noble and all that. Let's see, I find it Horikoshi inserts Aoyama asking if people learned where he was during the, so and that's my thing, is that it strongly feels like Horikoshi intended for Aoyama to be the traitor from the beginning, from the shady pages to the emphasis on Quirk's Deku's quirk not being right for his body and having that blowback in comparison compare it to Aoyama potentially blowing up his stomach. Kind of suggests that throughout the entirety of the early phases of the story, Aoyama being a traitor was planned out, and the motivations were going to be that his quirk was given to him by All For One and thus was not compatible with his body. It just seems like that was always the plan. And I don't have a problem with that. I think that's great that he had that idea fully fleshed out. And personally, even though he had originally planned to do it during a forced training camp, I'm glad that he saved that for way later. And because I know that also Horikoshi, being somebody who's constantly worried about his manga getting canceled, kind of wrote Kamino in a way that the manga could have ended there with like the final battle of All Might and the passing of the torch to Deku, and then you would have just gotten like a time flash forward or something like that if he felt like the story was going to be able to be. And like a lot of people love Kamino. So do I personally think Kamino would have been nearly as satisfying an end to the series? No. No, I do not. I think Kamino functions as the end of All Might's era and not properly a beginning of Deku's era. And I wouldn't want for the story to end All Might but not properly establish Izuku. Yep. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this stream here, since I ended up not needing a lot of people on today, and we've covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about with this volume. I think this is a decently transitional volume within the storybook function, and probably more likely volume 3 is going to have a bit longer discussion, more to talk about, especially with Sports Festival introducing more characters and different storylines. But this one was kind of just a lot of world building and a lot of early establishing dynamics of characters, and some of them not having a whole lot to play off of early. But I appreciate everybody that came through. Thank you for watching the stream and spending time with me and my Gene Bean.